dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, there is strength in numbers. I was reminded of this saying when, just like our colleagues Victor and Andrea, I represented my country at the important conference on trade and import that China organized in Shanghai earlier this week. We applaud China's intention to commit itself to the multilateral and rules-based global order. And we applaud, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, that they want to further open up their market to our companies. But it is also clear that China would like to deal with EU countries one by one, rather than with our Union as a bloc, because it is its strategic interest to do so. Dear friends, we should not play that game. More than ever, it is my strong conviction that in times of trade wars and economic turmoil, Europe must be united. United so that we can deal with the superpowers of the 21st century, such as China and the US. We are strong because of our collective scale, and we would be weak without it. That means we should not hide behind the EU when times are tough and talk up the nation state when the things are going well. As EPP, we have always been the guardians of that unity and cohesion, and we have to continue carrying that torch. So, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I welcome our Congress policy text that affirms the need for Europe that defends our values and interests in the world. The importance of unity has also been underlined by the ongoing Brexit negotiations. In this challenging context, I want to stress that Michel Barnier is doing an outstanding job as chief Brexit negotiator, and I think we should all commend him for that. We will see in the coming weeks if a deal can be reached. But one result, ladies and gentlemen, one result is already clear. The cohesion of the EU will be stronger, not weaker, after the Brexit. Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, the cohesion of our European project is not only being challenged by Brexit. Migration has been at the center of the political debate for the last few years. Our citizens are worried, and as EPP, we should take their worries seriously. The big refugee influx of 2015 and 2016 is indeed challenging the resilience of our cities and our identities. But let's not follow it in the footsteps of populists and make the problem bigger than it is for purely electoral reasons. As Donald Tusk has rightly underscored at the informal European summit in Salzburg, we have to get our facts straight. In 2015-2016, we saw the arrivals of 1.8 million refugees in the EU. And the first 8 months of 2018, that number is down to 80,000. We should keep these numbers in mind, and we should not act as if there is a silver bullet solution. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, yes, reinforcing our external borders is part of the solution, but so are a clear scheme for solidarity between the member states and increased EU cooperation with Africa and the Middle East. As EPP, we must remain the party of pragmatism and solutions, the party of decency, the party of reason. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what I believe to be at stake in the upcoming European elections. Because if we want to remain the center of European politics, we should not forget our Christian democratic values. Values such as openness, generosity, and respect for human dignity. We should not try to copy the easy answers of populists. They won't work, and they shouldn't work. We want to remain faithful to the tradition. Ladies and gentlemen, to the tradition of great Europeans, such as Tindemans, De Hane, Luc van den Brande, Herman van Rompuy, and our later EPP President Wilfried Martens. A tradition that is continued by Marianne Thijssen, who has turned social Europe from a slogan into reality. And ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, we don't need socialists to make the EU more social. And I'm glad that our two candidates for Spitzenkandidat are worthy of that tradition. And I want to congratulate Manfred and Alex for their respectful campaigns that were focused on the real issues rather than the faits divers and other not so important elements. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I am convinced that our Spitzenkandidat will be able to win the trust of the European public and withstand the call of populism. I am confident that the centre will hold. I am confident that if we remain faithful to our core values, the EPP will remain the dominant force in European politics. I thank you.